Good morning, you're watching One News Now Markets. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Before we delve into the equity space, here are the top stories of the hour. The Bangko Sentral has assured the public that Philippine banks have no reported exposure to the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank in the United States. BSP Governor Felipe Medalla said local banks' foreign currency deposit unit or FCDU assets are mostly loans as well as Philippine dollar bonds and sovereign bonds of countries with high credit ratings. Markets around the world have been shaken by the back-to-back collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and New York Signature Bank, even after U.S. authorities launched measures to shore up confidence in the banking system. The Bankers Association of the Philippines said recent developments in the U.S. financial system have no substantial or material impact to Philippine banks. The association said local banks have diversified deposit bases that include all sectors of the Philippine economy, allowing them to continuously provide the liquidity needs of clients. BAP also said it continues to work with the Bangko Sentral and other stakeholders to pursue reforms that will lead to an even stronger financial system. Now, over in the United States, inflation in February eased but remained high as monetary authorities contend with concerns about how rising interest rates have affected lenders. The U.S. Consumer Price Index rose 6% in February year-on-year, slower than the 6.4% reading recorded in January. The data comes at a tricky moment for the U.S. Federal Reserve, with economists expecting the Fed to suspend its year-long streak of interest rate hikes when it meets next week. The Fed has earlier stepped in to contain the fallout from the abrupt failure of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. We'll take a look at local stocks after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Let's have a quick check of how markets are doing across the region here. Better mood in Asia as we start Wednesday's trade here. A bit of a boost among shares in Japan. You have the TOPIX increasing by as much as 0.8%. The Nikkei likewise starting the day in the positive territory. You also have the Kospi Korean stocks here up by 1.7%. The same goes, of course, for Aussie stocks. The S&P 200 starting the day in the green. The Hang Seng and other Chinese indices likewise starting the day in the positive territory. territory. This is investors might actually be optimistic that the worst of the banking fallout in the U.S. is finally over. They are taking cues from a rally at Wall Street's close, signaling that there might actually be a shift in sentiment regarding the meltdown in the U.S. banking system here. Let's see, however, if the PCA is following suit. And as you can see right here, the index indeed tracking those gains across the region here. The index is now up by 1.8%, going back to the 6,500 level at 6,509. To be exact here. This comes on the back, of course, of reassurances from the Bankers Association of the Philippines, saying that developments in the financial system have no substantial developments in the financial system in the U.S. have no substantial impact on the country's lenders. They say that the Philippine banks have diverse deposit bases and have adequate capital and liquidity, and at the same time, measures put in place by the central bank provide enough support for lenders against any possible shocks. Let's have a look at how some of our lenders are doing here. Let me refresh you this one very quickly. As you can see right now, BDO, hefty gains at the start of the day here, up by 4%. BPI likewise starting the day up by close to 2 3/10%. Metrobank and Security Bank likewise gaining more than 1%. Now let's have a big shift here this time around over to miners, with local miners reportedly not keen on joining plans by Indonesia to create an OPEC-like group to coordinate supply. Dante Bravo, president of the Philippine Nickel Association, says that if prices of raw materials go up, then they will feed into prices of finished products which we import, the country imports, and it will hurt the Philippines. According to him, he says as well that he is not a believer in a controlled market. Recall that Indonesia's investment minister said that he plans to go to Australia, Canada, and the Philippines to promote the alliance, but ministers in other countries also expressed apprehension. A quick check of how our miners are doing. You can see here some gains here for Nickel Asia in particular, as well as Global Ferronickel up. Nickel Asia up by 1.6%. Global Ferronickel, on the other hand, also up by close to 1 3/10%. And that's it for this hour. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. We are One News, all sides, all the time.